Hello, everyone, and welcome. Here's Johnny. And today we also have Bonnie, the Unique Store, and we also have Paul at the Big City Pickers in the house.
Hey, everybody.
All right,
Hello.
we have Robert, and we still have others coming slowly in. So I want to welcome everyone.
Is that hi, Queenie?
Yeah, she's in the chat. So what we'll do is yes, she is. And so what I like to do is go around while everybody's trickling in. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. Let everybody know what you do, when you started, maybe on any platform you sell on, and a little bit just to start the basis of it, and then we'll get into it more throughout the show. I also want to welcome Larry, LL Stash in the house, my co-host on Saturdays. So we'll go with you, Bonnie. We'll start you first.
Me? Okay. So me and my husband together have been reselling for about 30 years, but me myself is about 14. We've done storage units. We have done liquidation boxes. We have done yard sales, estate sales, basically any single place we can buy product and flip it, we have done. We have tried it, done it, know what it's all about. We sell on Etsy, eBay, Poshmark. We do auctions on my channel, and yeah, everywhere. We sell everywhere. If we can make money, we do it.
All right. I hear that.
Legally make money. Let me emphasize legally.
Right. I understand that. I also want to welcome Jennifer Hayes in the house. Welcome. And there she is, got the links ready to go. I love it. Thank you, Jennifer.
Jenna.
Yeah. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, as it says on my little, wait, let me get it right there. Paul, Gate City Picker. Hail from the central part of North Carolina. I started on eBay, way back in 1999 with sports cards and things like that. Kind of moved into collectibles after that, after the sports card market kind of dried up because of the availability. It's kind of the double-edged sword of eBay. Made more things available, but gave us a platform to sell on. Moved into some antiques and figured out I'm not really that antique-y type thing, and then kind of off and on for a while. Did it for a while. Then in the last about 3 years, kind of started to take it serious. My wife joined in. She's got a real funny story about how she got into it. So if you can ever get her on camera to tell that story, make sure you ask her. So now we're, of course, a couple doing it, and our 3 kids are involved in it. My stepdaughter takes the pictures for eBay. Both of our sons, they go out to yard sales with us, to the flea markets with us. They both got good eyes to find things. Of course, they like to spend my money too. So. But we're on mostly eBay. My wife manages the Poshmark because that stuff makes no sense to me. Macari, as well as we do off and on Etsy, but we're not real happy with that platform. Plus we don't really have the products for that type of platform, so we don't go over there as much. And Amazon, we started on Amazon a couple years ago. Kind of got tied up in the Amazon, fun of it, and then kind of lost control of it. And now we're trying to kind of regain some control of it, more of which we didn't follow some rules, found ourselves on a ban for a while. And then now here, it's been about a year since then, trying to build that back up. And so that's kind of where we are. I do operate a little small flea market booth when I wake up on Saturdays and just kind of feel like going. So, sometimes I just don't do it. Like last Saturday, I woke up and went, this bed and this cup of coffee seem more interesting than going down sitting at the flea market. So that's kind of us in the nutshell. So
yeah. I also want to welcome in the house. We have Lisa, Seals to Sales, and we also have Lady Luck Junk, Danica. Welcome.
Hello.
Now, if anyone has questions for the guests, go ahead and put it in the chat. Make sure you put at Kajun Roots so I can see it and highlight it on my end. So we will make sure we get them answered for you if you have any curious questions about what's going on and what they do, and if you don't know about them. Also, Jennifer's been putting their links in the chat. If you have not subscribed to both of them, go ahead and check them out because you're not going to be disappointed. I enjoy both of their channels as well. And so when I reached out to them and asked them, I was very grateful. Yes. Now, Bonnie, how long have you been doing YouTube? Because I think you're under 100 subs right now.
Yeah, I've actually only been doing YouTube for, what month are we in again? August. Okay, so since I think I started my channel in June. It was a long time coming because I had some friends that I actually told them about reselling because they were doing couponing and they weren't making that much money. So they were like, oh, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm still doing reselling. You know, I've checked out Amazon. So I kind of taught them Amazon. And I know that sometimes they pop in and watch. So if they're watching, I like really, really hate them because they're doing like all my advice I gave to them. They're doing like amazing. And I'm like, wait a minute. How did that happen? Like they shoot me shots all the time. They're like, hey, check this out. And I'm like, oh my God, what? And they're like, you need to do a book. I'm like, I need to do a book. Wait a minute, my numbers don't look like yours. How did my information give you that? And they're like, oh yeah, I did. I'm like, okay, I mistranslated some of the information. So my husband's like, oh, well, let's start a YouTube channel. So that was how we did it.
Wow.
Oh, that's my mama. Hi, mama.
That's mama. Hello, mama.
Yeah, Unique Store Mom is my mom. She's so nice.
Now, does she do anything with thrifting like you do?
She actually does. She's super fun to go yard selling with. Actually, we go yard selling. If it's not me and my husband, it's me and my mom. And she'll ask me like all the time. She's like, oh, hey, by the way, what's this worth? And I'm like, oh yeah, get this. And then she'll get it. And then sometimes she's like, or she'll call us and she'll be like, hey, I went yard selling. I got this. And a lot of the times it's me buying stuff from her and her buying stuff from us. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, I want that.
Well, you're now at 167 on your subs. Congratulations.
Yay.
You come a long way from a little bit of months you were on. I remember when I first subbed to you, you were like under 50. I think between 25 and 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been working it.
Yeah, girl. So Paul, how have you been doing on your YouTube channel as far as your do you do any lives or is it just videos?
We started I want to say September of last year. We were headed down to a meetup in Charlotte, and it seemed like there was going to be a lot of people there, and it was quasi coordinated or supposed to be by a guy down there that was doing YouTube. I think he since has stopped, and so I figured, well, what better time to start a YouTube than to go into a reseller meetup. And so that was our very first video, was the reseller meetup that we went to. And I went at it for a while. I was kind of like, yeah, I want to be out, and had this mindset of I want to become a big time YouTuber and make all these great videos. And then I realized I'm not really good at editing. Really, then time type thing. I still put up videos. Mostly I focus on like what sold and things like that. I used to take videos down at the flea market, but then I didn't. Wasn't getting quite many views on it because I just didn't think people, thought that stuff was interesting. So now I just kind of focus on the what solds and things like that. And I'm not really in a rush to gain a bunch of subscribers or anything like that. I'm more of a let it happen organically type thing. Most of my lives and stuff like that, happen with, collaborations with other people. Nate and Anthony at the Ecom and Beyond show have been great friends to me. Anytime that they've, ever asked me, I've gone on, or if I've asked them if I could come on, they've never said no. So both of those guys have been great supporters of my channel and things like that. But YouTube just mainly, it's this time thing. It's kind of, I have training through my job through basically, Lean and Six Sigma type things. And it's, finding the best process and time saving and things like that. And I know it's resellers that one of the biggest things that we're always short on is time. And I just didn't have the time to focus on a YouTube channel while growing a resale business.
Right.
And so it's just one of those things.
You don't need sleep.
Yeah. Have 3 teenage kids and tell me you don't need sleep.
Hey, I have 2. Okay.
And so it's just not something that I tremendously focus on. But it's one of those things like, I'm starting off just trying to do at least a what's sold every week, and type thing. And that's pretty much the only kind of focus I have on YouTube. I do kind of have a second channel that I put a little more content on, but it's more for eBay. I have a store that I sell sports cards on, and I do I pack not really I make team sets. Like I pack 25 cards of each team, and I show people, hey, this is what you're going to get in this pack. This is what you're going to get in this pack. I do reviews. I open up boxes and things like that. But when I sell a sports card, I send, in the thank you note has a what the QR code to that. And it's basically just to show my eBay buyers, what I have on eBay up for sale.
Right.
So I put a little more content on it, but it's not really resale content. It's more of a, here's what I have on eBay type content.
Do you advertise that channel, that eBay store, where people can go and check you out?
Not necessarily, because again, it's just more kind of focused on one specific like sports card thing, and again, it's more for the buyers on my sports cards to see basically what I have, what I'm getting. Like I got boxes of cards. Like this is the last video I put up. I opened this box, showed everybody what was in this box. I did a review, my thoughts and feelings on what the card looks like, what I thought the value of it was, or something like that. And it's more kind of focused in the card community rather than the resale community. I thought it was just nice to kind of keep that type of stuff separated.
But do you have that link for that channel?
I can get it if anybody's interested.
Because we do have some people in the chat who do that with different cards. I'm looking to see if I don't see them yet, but I know Kajun and a couple others that come in like that kind of stuff. So you may want to just advertise that.
I think every once in a while I'll drop it in like one of the Facebook groups or something like
that. Right.
Let me see if I can find it while talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Well, I want to welcome also Lisa, the Copper State Treasures, in the chat. Welcome. And then we also have Queen Cleopatra back in the house. Welcome, Queen.
Yes.
A comedy hour that we just went through recently.
Oh my goodness, that was hilarious. Queen was hilarious.
Let me see if I can pull her channel too. Queen, if you can, put your link to your channel in the chat for me, please, or anyone. That we can share the link. Now, basically, what I like to do on this channel when we do these type of interviews, it's more of a kind of get to know each other, but it's not a formal kind of thing. And so we like to do the collaborations and networking with other channels. And they get to know you by the name with the face, in case if they haven't actually got your channel yet. So I like to definitely advertise other channels, promote those who are just starting out, whether you have under 500 subs or 100 or even over 1,000. It doesn't matter, because we all like to go work together and give each other helpful tips. Also want to welcome Callie Reseller Lewis. Welcome.
Hello.
So being that you're just recently starting out with your eBay, your YouTube channel, but you've been doing eBay for a while, Ani, what is the biggest flip you've ever done?
Ooh, the biggest flip? Ooh. Okay. I'm going to say, which my husband will probably say I'm wrong, but I would say it was, so we went back in November to a estate sale, and we were walking around the estate sale, and we're one of those ones that no matter what, we stop, even like yard selling. Like I've even taught my mom to do that, when you drive by, not always does it look like there's going to be something. So this estate sale actually had a bunch of coins and a bunch of Indian stuff. And okay, I suck at Indian stuff. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know if it's real, fake, whatever, handmade. I don't know. And the other half likes the coins. So he's like, oh, I want to go for the coins. Well, if you've ever really checked out my store, I'm more like clothes, I'm on it, jewelry, I'm on it. I'm more comfortable. Toys, I'm really good at toys. But the problem with toys is they don't always go out of my house. Like they stay in my house. So that one's like one of those, like I try not to pick up toys because they always stay. They never seem to get listed and go. And then when I go to look for them, they magically disappear and somehow no one knows where they're at.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. So we went and I was looking through the closet because I like clothes. So I went through the closet and I actually found a fur jacket and a fur blanket. And I was super excited. So I kind of hid the fur blanket and I was like, oh, maybe they won't realize it's a fur blanket. They'll just realize it's a fur coat. So when I brought it up to them, they're like, oh, 30. And I was like, ooh, 30? Real fur? Okay, cool. So I was like, all right. And then I put it up and it was up for probably, I would say maybe a week, if that. And I was actually so surprised. I got $550 on it. So if you guys have any fur blankets, they're awesome.
Really?
Yeah. It was like, what?
The least expected item, huh?
The least expected. I was like, I thought the fur jacket would go faster than but the jacket didn't because it was like a trench fur. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool because it was like interchangeable. So I'm like, oh, well, the blanket won't be anything. And that was $500. I was like, what?
I also want to welcome Lance Victor in the house. Welcome. I have a question for you because I noticed when you were on someone else's show, you were doing a show with, I can't remember who it was, but you have this sound that keeps coming when you're talking on your video. What is that? It almost sounds like an echo, but it also sounds like something from Barbados.
I don't know.
Because I noticed that on your show when you had Devin on your show the other day.
Oh, you know what that might have been? I was playing with Devin and trying to see, when you go into the, I always play in the settings in StreamYard, and there's that thing like when you bring people in, it plays music. And I clicked on that to see what would happen. So I could be.
Well, because right now Lance Picker and a few others are saying,
what does this button do?
I know what's coming from your channel because it sounds just like it was when you were on your live with Dan.
Oh, well, maybe it's just my speakers. Maybe they suck.
But I'm just saying because I just heard it again. Somebody, Lance said it was an echo, but I think that's what it's coming from. So
well,
what about
turn
you,
my speaker
Paul?
down. Is that better?
I don't hear it yet.
Okay.
Okay. So what's the biggest flip you've ever had, Paul?
Biggest, well,
the best.
Yeah, the biggest, the one that I got two. There's the biggest one, and this the one I actually like to talk about because of the buy cost. In my area, there's a lot of pottery, and if anybody wants a huge bolo, pull up Devil Jug Pottery. And if you don't know what that is, go look at the comps on eBay. I mean, some of that stuff is just tremendous. And so I kind of come across some of that stuff every once in a while. And many, many, many years ago, I got a box lot and got a Devil Jug. And for the box, I paid about $25 for a bunch of stuff in it. And then I sold that jug for close to $2,000. And that was 2004, something like that. But the one I really like to talk about is, when YouTube auctions first came around and were kind of not as popular as they are now. There was a guy who's just up north in DC. He used to do a lot of YouTube content and did some YouTube auctions, and he since stopped doing YouTube content. But I got a mystery box from him, and because of all the stuff in the mystery box, per item, I paid $1.25 per item. Well, one of the items in this mystery box that I paid about $150 for was a pair of Big E Levi jeans. And I put them up for auction, and they sold for $850 on auction.
Wow.
So it went from $1.25
yeah,
$850. That's the one I just really like to talk about because, I mean, that just shows kind of like, because that guy, his name is Mike. His channel is Newfound Past, and I wish he would make content. I really always enjoyed his stuff. But he could have easily just said, "Nope, I'm keeping these for myself." But no, he decided to put it in a mystery box and auction it off on a YouTube channel, on his YouTube channel, to give somebody else the opportunity. And it just kind of it was my first kind of introduction into, hey, this community kind of, we all look out for each other, you know, or we're supposed to, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and when we do YouTube auctions, and if you're asked to come on an auction, you know, bring quality stuff, you know, because we're all trying to survive and make money just, you know, the same way you are, you know, so just make sure that you have the value there for the people to show up to. And I have my own opinions on YouTube auctions now that I think will probably might tweak some people the wrong way, but so I'll just kind of keep them to myself for now.
I want to welcome Swamp Picker in the house. How you doing, Glenn? Thank you.
Look at that, Jennifer, quick with the link to Mike's channel.
Yes,
he don't make content anymore, but he used to, and some of his past content.
Yeah, because right now it looks like he has 1.72 thousand subscribers with 273 videos.
Yeah, and I don't think he's made a video in about 6 or 7 months. But if you go back and look at, like, I learned a lot from his What Sold videos. It's like I got into coffee mugs because of him, and I make a lot of money on coffee mugs just from watching his channel.
I'll have to check it out.
I always drop coffee mugs.
You do?
Yes.
I'll tell you this:
if the handles for though, right?
If you have a thrift store that or anything like that has coffee mugs, I mean, there is some money to be made, because what do you pay? 49 cents to $1 for a coffee mug? And sometimes, like, if you find the right one, you know, you sell it for $30. You know what I mean?
Because I've been looking at
and they're easy to ship. They're first class. You know, as long as you pack them right with bubble wrap in the right box. And I mean, I've never, you know, to this day, you know, knock on wood, never had a coffee mug break in shipping. So,
Swamp Picker says he got sick from what he saw in the last show he did. But I know I was watching another channel a while back, and that was one of the BOLOs that they were talking about on different coffee mugs. Different big, depending on the type of style or the name or the type of characters on a mug and that kind of thing can make a big difference when it comes to
the best kind of thing to look out for is BOLO, not BOLO, excuse me, Fire King. Anything Fire King, I mean, on a coffee mug is probably going to be you know, decent money, especially if you get it 49 cents for $1 or something like that. Like most of our you know, Goodwills and stuff like that, coffee mugs are 49 cents. But you know, Fire King is one to look out for. The other ones that look for, of course, the branded Starbucks. Anything Starbucks, I mean, is going to turn around good on coffee mugs, as well as you know, the ones that, and I haven't found one yet, but one I'd learned to look out for is anything that's tied to a naval ship.
Yeah,
like if it was used on a naval ship and you could tie it to a naval ship. Those things are insane money too.
Right. And that's what I heard.
Did not know that.
No.
But I always break them. So.
Well, don't break them.
It doesn't matter. There was one. So, no joke, you guys. It literally lasted. It was stamped on it. 1974. It made it from 1974 until last year or last month until my hands got on it. And then it went, and I was like, oh. And I go, really? You made it like 45 years and then I touch you and you break? I'm like, wow. Yeah. And of course, my husband looks at me, really?
I want to welcome
I know, purposely.
So let me turn that table around with that question and ask, what is the worst buy that you've ever done?
Ooh, the worst buy.
How long you got?
While y'all thinking, if anyone in the chat has a question for our guest, go ahead and put it in the chat with the @Kajun Roots so I can see it. If you have any particular questions you would like to hear answers to. Go ahead.
I'm the opinion is this: if you're not making bad buys, you're not trying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very true.
You know, I mean, I'm sure, you know, the stuff I picked up, you know, at last time I went yard selling, you know, I haven't listed it yet or I haven't gone through it. I'm sure there's a bad buy in there somewhere. But, you know, it's one of those things that, like, after you do this for a while, you learn to look for things. And sometimes your spidey senses go off and you say, oh, cool, I think I can make some money. And you get it home and, you know, that, and you don't, you know, it's not what you thought. You know, maybe you didn't overpay for it or maybe you paid eBay price for it. But, if you're not willing to fork out, just you're paying for an education is the way that I look for it.
Yeah.
And like I used to joke around with somebody, I can't even remember who it was, that I said, all these people make these like what sold videos, and I wanted to start making what didn't sell videos, and
I did that.
Well, there you go.
I'm like, no sales today, 0, nada. Sorry guys, quick one. Bye.
But,
I mean, feline kisses.
Because there's I mean, in any gamut of it is a gamut of the categories of meat down from electronics. I mean, I've bought coffee mugs thinking they're going to sell, and they don't. Actually, my last bad buy was the other day. I found a brand new NFL branded. It was for the 49ers. Again, 49 cents at the thrift store. I put it in the buggy, got it home, created the listing, sent it out with my stepdaughter to take pictures of it, and she said, "Hey, it's got a big old crack in it." So I mean, that's a bad buy because I didn't pay attention. I just got excited. It's like, oh, this is brand new. It's got tags, never been used before, and it's got a crack in it. So
I've done that same thing at a garage at a estate sale where there was the two to the set, and it was these old made in occupied Japan stickers on the back of it, markings. And I see the first one is in perfect condition, nothing wrong with it. So okay, let me just get the whole set. It was all going together. I get it home as I'm looking through each one of them while I'm looking up in comps and things like that, because at that point I didn't do any comps on that one. I get it home, I start looking at it. One of them had a complete crack that somebody glued together back, but made it look like it was in good condition.
Oh wow!
So definitely always look at something as close as you can. But when you're in a rush, sometimes you don't do it, and I get that. Just like when I first started, and we moved up here to Massachusetts, I was all excited because Robert and I was in one of the savers, and he pointed out to me it was this talking fish. Looked like it was still brand new. Had the plastic over it. It was all like a dark yellow, like it had been old and picked up. I was excited. Looked inside. It looked like it was still wrapped in its original package. I get it home. I open it up. I took the batteries out of it because the batteries not only corroded, the springs for the batteries were so corroded that they fell apart. So.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I mean, you do that. Listen,
item, but I learned my lesson to make sure I bring a small screwdriver and
check the battery. Yep. You do that a few times, and you'll learn to carry a little small pocket screwdriver, or or at least
you gotta have your reselling kit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a doctor's bag.
I started watching other videos, and they said this is what you should have while you're going sourcing. It's like, well, duh.
Right? But how many of us actually do it?
Exactly.
I'm always forgetting the loop. I'm like, oh man.
Right. I bring the loop with me all the time. I do that all the time. I want to welcome nobody in the house. Yeah, that's one thing I have. I have one on my desk, and I have one I keep in my pocket at all times when I'm traveling.
See, that's what I need to do. I need to buy like 10 of them because I'm sure I'll lose them. That's probably my worst thing.
See your phone? There's an app you can get that you don't need to carry one.
But hey, Johnny, I need to know that one.
I'm going to tell you right now. Hold on. I downloaded it, and I tell you, it's the best thing. It's called the Flashlight and Magnifier 2020. When you open the app, it's going to look like this. It's a little magnifier with a glass. But the light is very bright, but also it's a magnifying glass.
That is crazy cool.
There's just an app called Magnify, Flashlight and Magnifying 2020. It's a free app. And I tell you one thing, when you open that thing to look at anything on a piece of an item you're looking for small details, it is amazing. I recommend you use it because that way you got to carry it if you forget to carry your eye loop or whatever. It really works.
That's great. I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah. Because every now and then I might get it on my desk, and when I'm changing pants and stuff, and I don't put it in my pocket, so that works out really well. So yeah, Jennifer's been dropping. So is there anything?
I always make the best out of a bad situation. Like I try to, because like I've even bought board games that have missed pieces, and then I craft them into jewelry. I'm like, we'll just do this. We'll make pog earrings. We'll give this away as Christmas presents. Which I'm actually surprised my family doesn't get really mad about that, because I usually I'm like, oh, this didn't sell. Great Christmas present. Here we go. I'm like, oh yeah, that didn't sell. That was a bad buy. I'm like, it's not broken, right? No, it's not broken. Okay, cool. Here we go.
I must have me a coffee mug.
No, because I always pay for it. Those are probably my worst buys because I break them and then I'm like, I feel so bad. I'm like, I just broke a coffee mug. Here you go. How much did you want for it? Oh, I just broke 5 coffee mugs and a couple ornaments. Here you go. They're like, cool. We got rid of the stuff and we got paid.
All right, let me get to the chat. Let's see if we have a question. Let's see here. Let's see. I bet you're right. Okay, that's something else. Let's see here. Who was this? Lone Star. Where did he go? The only thing about this is so hard when you go to try to get someone's comment. Yes. All right, Gate City Picker and Bonnie. What tools do you or will you use? What tools will you or do you carry any for any point forward for when you're sourcing?
Like I said, just mostly a tiny screwdriver, something like that, and of course the phone. Always got to have your phone. And if you're heavy into electronics, which I tried to at one point in time, make sure you carry a cassette tape, because if you can find a cassette like a stereo or something like that, you got to be able to test it. But then I realized too that most thrift stores have cassette tapes, VHSs, DVDs that you can just go grab and try out. So I don't, wouldn't carry that stuff anymore. But more than anything else, just a phone and a little pocket screwdriver or something like that.
I always carry mugs, a mask, and gloves with me everywhere I go, because even if I'm going into an estate sale or a garage sale, I wear gloves. As I was doing that before this pandemic came around. Not as much now, not as much before like I am doing now, but I was doing it before that. But now I'm doing it more. But since I learned my lesson, I try to carry at least a screwdriver, and I don't think about buying much electronics, so I don't carry batteries with me anymore. But I always have my phone because I use that a lot when it comes to sourcing and getting comps. So that is my best friend when I'm out sourcing. What about you, Bonnie?
Wow, I must be like the weirdest one that I take my phone, but I never really look at my phone. I pretty much go on what I know, or if it's like off the wall, because if it's off the wall, usually it does really, really well for me. But other than that, I would say my phone pretty much. But because every time I've done like the whole, like, because I've sold on Amazon, I've done the scanning. I used to always scan and source with my phone.
Right.
And I found that I wasn't doing as well, and I was missing other stuff because I was so focused on all the new stuff. So now I just kind of like, if it's board games, for me, I don't do any like non-weird board games. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but like if you've heard of it, if it's a Monopoly, just straight Monopoly, I don't really pick those up. Now, if it's a Jurassic Park game, oh yeah, all day long I pick those up. If it's the mall dating game, I pick those up. The weird off the wall ones I pick up all the time. And then I just look to see if it's got the pieces. Even if it doesn't have the pieces, depending on how much it is, I'll pick it up because you can go on eBay and buy the little pieces. But other than that, usually just my phone. And if it's not my husband, I'll call him and say, hey, what do you think? Because my worst, like, I wouldn't call it buy, but it was like my worst decision was, and he still won't let me live it down. So if he ever comes on, he'll tell you guys the story, because he like still
I can relate to that.
Yes,
you remind me about it.
This
every
one
time.
is like the holy grail. So we went to Savers and they had bin 10 dolls, tons of them, brand new in the box. And I call him up and I'm like, okay, there's like 50 or 60 bin 10 dolls. Do you want me to get them? And he's like, well, scan them, see which ones you want, and then pick them up. So I only picked up like 5 maybe out of the bin 10s, and they sold like that. And he was like, you should have picked them all up. I was like, seriously? So we went back to Savers the next day and they were gone. And I was like, oh, really? I only picked up like 6 out of these 60 and someone else swiped them all up. So he goes, remember Ben 10s? And I'm like, really? You're really going to bring? And this was probably now 6 years ago, and he still brings it up too.
Ouch.
My mom was actually with me, and she goes, are you sure you don't want them all? And I'm like, no, well, these are the only ones that seem to be doing really well, so I don't need the rest of them. Little did I know. Would never live that one down.
I know I picked up some games. I didn't know anything about them, but I usually only pick up games that are brand new and sealed. Very seldomly, I will pick up, like if I'm at a family garage sale and I ask them if it's all there and they say, yeah, and I take it home, I still check everything to make sure it's there. So far, so good. I only picked up a couple of puzzles that were open, but then again, I sat there and counted all 1,000, 1,200 pieces, whatever it may be, just to make sure that's all there before I even say it's complete. So you we definitely watch yourself when you're doing that kind of stuff.
I'll pick up sealed games like you, but the only one that I like, if I find a Scrabble game and it's like $1, I'll pick it up because you could sell the tiles because people are always missing the tiles.
Well, I just went to an estate sale a couple of weeks ago and I picked up a bin full of old games, and one of the games was the original wooden Scrabble games, but it was open. I didn't even think about counting because I said I know I can at least sell the tiles if it wasn't complete. But those are the chances you take sometimes. Let's see.
And you always bring cash. That's an obvious. I didn't know we were supposed to say cash or credit card. I mean,
I ain't robbing today. Maybe a number of years ago, but not today.
Yeah, always empty car though.
No,
I always shove things in my car because I always forget to unload it. So I'm like, all right, let's see how much we can get around this stuff.
You see, for me, when I get home, I have to take it out. I do a quarantine, so to say. It stays in my garage for a week or so before I bring it in the house. So I always empty out my car. I can't stand all that in my car.
Johnny, I do that, but by accident.
I've been doing it, and I realize I'm doing it on purpose. So yeah,
I'll throw it in there. Like I've got stuff in my car that I bought 3 weeks ago that I just haven't taken out yet. Just mainly because I'm dealing with other piles of stuff right now.
Right
now we're focused on some people say, oh, it's too early. It's never too early, but right now we're focusing on Christmas. We're getting our inventories up for Christmas,
and that's what I'm doing too as well.
I just told my mom that.
October 1st is going to come quick.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to get toys. We collect Christmas. We buy Christmas items all year long. Ornaments, decorations and things like that. And so that's what we're kind of focused on, getting that stuff up, because before you know it, like you said, October rolls around and that's when people start thinking about Christmas and start buying stuff for Christmas. Yep. So, which is also a good part about being a reseller, because you shop Christmas all year round for your family.
Yeah.
So like we got a closet back there. In the back of that closet that's where the Christmas presents go that we just buy all year round.
Right.
So when Christmas rolls around, it's not like sometimes we'll find stuff in there. It's like, oh, we were supposed to give this to our nephew, last year, but we, so we'll give it to him this year.
I've so done that.
Or you find it like a couple of months later, I know I bought him something. I know I bought something for that person. I don't know where I put it, and then you find
I bought my son's into, he at the time he really loved like anything with a pug on it. So like so I found these like pug slippers, brand new, there, and somehow they got buried in the back of the closet. Missed it 2 years ago, and gave it to him this year. They were size 10. Well, of course, he wears a size 13 now. So hey, we were supposed to give these to you last year. You could have worn them then, but here you go.
I've done that. So on the boat of that one, done that one. I'm like, oh man, where did that go?
Welcome, Nikki T, in the house. Yeah, another thing too. I'm going to comment on the Lone Star Pickers comment. I know I have a carry bag when I leave the house. It's right at my front door. It has sanitizer, it has hand wipes, it has gloves, mask, spray. It's sanitizer. I carry all that with me. That's one of the things that you should have it all the time anyway. So, yeah.
Man, I need to expand my kit, obviously.
Yeah. Well, because sometimes you're in a place where if you go from one, let's say you're going to multiple places for different sales of something that's going on in a 1 weekend or 1 day, as long as you have the hand sanitizer, because some places may have it, but you don't know that. But you never know who touched it before you did. So that way, if you have your own, you can still use it for your own sanitation reasons, going between houses before you get home.
Man, it must be either like the fact that I have boys or whatnot, because I just don't even think about that. I'm like, like me and my mom go to the bargain bin and then we go to McDonald's afterwards, and I'm just like, yeah, no
Oh, wait.
gloves, let's eat.
I'll wash my hands before I eat or something like that. But
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
we do like the only time like we'll wear gloves is like we'll go to if we go to the bins or something like that. But as far as just regularly wearing gloves out, like not necessarily. So
Yeah. But I definitely
No,
do
see,
when I
I'm
go to
a
estate sales or any garage sale. And of course the grocery store. Have it. So if anyone has questions for our guests, go ahead and put it in the chat, please. And that way you can get them answered for, or if you have any ideas or questions or any thoughts. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to our panel. Subscribe to each other to help them show the support and love for each person that's in here for the chat. And I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming out and continuously supporting the chat as we have multiple shows each week. Now, is there anything that you, either one of you or both of you, would like to give a pointer out or two to those that might be just starting out? There are a few here that look like I know they're maybe starting out. That you give them any kind of good advice if just starting out either on YouTube and or eBay or any platform.
Just have fun. I mean, that's all it's really about, is just having fun. Everything else will come as you go. My biggest thing is I've always compared myself to like everybody else's. I'm like, oh, they sent out 7 packages. Oh, they sent out 30. What am I doing wrong? I have 800 and something list. Don't do that, because that's not you're in a different journey than what they're in. And even I still do that sometimes now. I'll look at somebody else's channel and I'll be like, or somebody else's, Instagram page, and they're shooting all their packages. And I'm just like, wow, why is that working for them and not for me? But I've learned that, you know what? I'm just having fun with it. I get to spend time with my kids. I get to hang out with my mom, my husband, and me and my husband are like the worst competitive people on the face of the planet. That's another thing. If you have someone that can kind of push you to that next level, make sure you keep them around and close with you. Because like, even if we're not yard selling, we'll call each other and we'll be like, oh yeah, I just picked up this and I only paid $2. Nah, and we're going to make this amount on it. And then he'll call me and be like, oh no, I picked up this. Nah. And I'm like, crap, now I got to beat him, So it kind of pushes you a little bit more.
A little competition going on, huh?
Oh,
Right.
all the time. It's so bad. But he'll tell you I do better buys, because I do. But yeah, and then $20.
Yeah, Danica makes a great statement. Just be yourself. Be your own competition. Yeah. I know when I first started out, I was always watching all these different channels. Now, granted, they've been doing it for years. Granted, they have a bigger store. Sometimes they have 2 and 3 stores. But I only was watching the channels that I was watching so I can get an idea. Because I have an app on my phone called the Samsung Note, where I would copy. I would like if I saw somebody give a BOLO of maybe the best sell that they ever did, talking about it in their one video, I would write it down on my note to where when I was on the phone doing my sourcing, I would just look at it and say, okay, well, my name sounds familiar if I find it. Let me look on my notes and see if that was on my notes. And so that kind of balanced it for me, saying it might be a good buy, but is it a good price for me to buy it at?
Right.
So I would want to source it while I was in the store so that way I can check it. So that's just one of the things I would give. If you have any type of note system on your phone, make yourself some notes. If you're watching videos, make you some notes of what they might be talking about as far as a good sale or not a good sale. And I even have a list of not to buy, what to look out for, and that kind of stuff. And then also have categories on like clothing, shoes, electronics, coffee mugs. And that's how I break it down so it's easier for me to find in my notes. But that's just a little pointer that I do. It may work for someone else. I don't know, but I'm just love to share things like that out with everyone.
So organized.
Yes, I am. I'm OCD when it comes to that. I also want to welcome Amy Hot Mess Thrifter in the house. Welcome.
Hi,
Anything that you would like to share, Paul?
I really like what Bonnie said about having somebody to push you. That's what my wife did for me when I was kind of just when we were dating. I was just kind of here and there. I'll go by and go get go by the thrift store or something like that, get a few things or anything like that. And she's like, if you're really focused on it and put all of your energy into it, you could, pretty much make something out of this. And then, so she would keep driving me, and then she got into it. And then it was kind of like what Bonnie was saying, is like, look what I picked up today. And I'd be like, well, look what I picked up today. Well, here's my 90-day numbers, and well, here's my 90-day numbers. So, I mean, I really think like having, because it's fun. Yeah, we pick at each other, but it makes it fun. And it involves, family. It's something that we get to do together, which, helps our relationship too. Right. More than anything else, everything that, when it comes to reselling, is that there's not any kind of, to me, and there's not a secret sauce to it. If you buy this item and you sell this many items and this and that, and it's not an equation. You know what I mean? In this type of business, there are so many ways to make money. There are so many items out there to make money. I come on here and I tell you, I just told you a few minutes ago about, the devil face jugs. It's like, why, like that's just one of millions of items that could be out there. So what if I shared it with you? Like, I can't buy them all because I can't find them all. So share it with you guys, type thing.
Exactly.
So this is like always keep learning. Anytime downtime, standing in line, pull up the eBay app and just type something in and look at the solds. You're standing in line at the grocery store, you walk by something, like look it up and see what it sells for. It's you can't learn everything, but you can't stop learning. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the thing, is like to me, like reselling business is never a plateau. You always kind of have to like, okay, what's the next level? I heard Lonnie say once, and I kind of really take it to heart, is that, if you want to make, $100,000 in this business, you have to list $100,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to set goals and achieve it. And that helps you kind of break those plateaus up, is always set goals. If you just want to make a little side money and kind of make it by, you can do that. If you want to make it full time, you can do that. It's all about what you want to put into it.
And it's all on what you put into it as far as your hours and the items. And the best way you do that is to find the best amount of items that you can buy at a low cost to be able to flip it for a higher profit.
Exactly.
One thing, if anybody is brand new, and I'll say this, and it might ruffle some feathers, don't buy anybody's BOLO list. Do not buy anybody's BOLO list, because
don't do that.
What is selling now won't sell. It could change from 6 months from now. You know what I mean? When we got into clothing and things like that, when I got into selling clothing, like I could, Perry Ellis used to be a great clothing brand to sell. Now you can't give it away, so it didn't change. You know what I mean? Fashions change, items change, culture change. And that's, you have to be able to, move with the times. And that's why I think like things like, social media is important to this business, because you can follow trends, you can follow, see what people are buying, things like that. So like if you have an Instagram, or if you're even on Twitter, and I'm barely on Twitter, so don't, take this with a grain of salt. I'm not either. Follow, if you're a clothing seller, follow fashion pages, follow, magazines that do fashion and things like that. Because you can see, you can see what trends are. If you are a sports card seller, I mean, you got to follow sports pages, and you have to know, who's playing well in whichever sports that is. Jewelry, I don't know much about jewelry, but my wife jumped 2 feet first into jewelry, and I am carrying boxes of jewelry in almost every day. You know what I mean? But you know what? It's something that she wanted to learn about. She saw people, selling jewelry on What Sold videos and things like that. And, especially when the pandemic hit and sourcing was real hard, you could buy, jewelry boxes from, goodwill.com or something everywhere. Like that. Or, you can buy all that stuff, and you can just, so it's just, you always have to, don't, if you want to be a niche seller, then, learn everything about your niche, but, you're going to put yourself in a little box. So.
Also, niche isn't that good. Sales in the chat. Welcome, Miss Gabby. Go ahead.
I was saying niching down. I mean, yeah, you want to start small in like one thing and kind of learn it. But honestly, like when it comes to clothing, sometimes you might think something is basically I go if it's funky and it is ugly, like
It'll
if
sell.
yeah, exactly. I ask my mom a lot of the times, like when we're out together, I'm like, hey mom, what do you think of this? And she goes, I don't like that. I'm like, cool, I'm getting it. And she's like, but I just said I don't like it. And I'm like, yeah, because it's gonna sell and it's gonna sell for good money. And then if she says she likes it, I put it back. And she's always like, really? I'm like, yeah, it doesn't work if you like it. It's only when you don't like it. She gets so upset at me about that.
One thing I do have to say, and I agree with both of y'all, because if you don't get yourself into a niche or however you want to pronounce it, and then you go and you see other people selling other things, don't be afraid to try it. It could work for you, but you have to make sure you do your homework, make sure you resource it, make sure you do your comps, and make sure that when you're buying it at a lower cost, so that you don't get yourself in a big bind that you're not going to be able to make any money on it. So that was my advice: to make sure you do your work when it comes to different things you may want to try. And that's why, like you were saying, being on the phone when you're in a location, I'm not afraid to use my phone no matter where I'm at. And if somebody's asking me what I'm doing, I'm gonna tell them. I'm going to say how much I can make on it on eBay or what it's sold for and that kind of stuff. And I get on cards so many times from people asking me why am I doing that, because I'm not afraid to tell them, but at least I can help somebody else if they were interested in it to look it up. I'll give them a card. Here you go. Check out my videos.
Yeah, exactly. You know how many leads you end up getting? People are like, hey, wait a minute, I got a bunch of stuff. How much you gonna charge? And then you're like, oh, well, let's say.
Yeah, exactly. So my biggest thing on that is don't be afraid to talk to other people when you're in like the garage sales, the estate sales, or in the thrift store, and somebody asks you what you're doing. You may be inspiring somebody else to do the same thing. You never know. And always don't be afraid to check out something, source it, comp it, whatever you got to do, and don't be afraid to try it out every now and then. You never know what's going to work. You're always trying to find something that you might get something that you can turn something for, and you may like it. Then it makes you look out for more, because then you might have sold it for a good bit of money. So that's what I always have to say about that. Let's see. Lady Danica says, I got to run driver's ed. Oh, my Lord Jesus. I'll be praying for you, baby girl.
Yeah.
Wait, is she taking driver's ed or teaching?
No, she's teaching it. She says,
really?
I got to run driver's ed.
I remember when my kids started driving. Oh, my God. I thought I was going to die. I pray to you, woman. And I give you like, go with God.
Yes. Now you see them cars when it says I'm a student driver. It's like, okay, let me get around that one.
Exactly.
Especially these days. Let's see. I'm terrified of selling items. Jennifer says she's terrified of selling items other than jewelry for some reason. Shipping parts scares me. Well, that's sometimes.
You know what? It's a little advice on something like that is, you don't have to go out and buy, 50 different items. Like just move to one next item. Maybe just like start looking at shoes. Shoes are real easy and simple to ship because the Postal Service gives you a box. They have a free box that you can use. So they're real easy to ship. So just kind of, and that's what I always kind of suggest to people who are in a niche and want to spread out. The first thing I tell them is look at shoes. Don't, leave clothes alone for a while. Look at shoes because shoes are easy to sell. They're easy to pack. They're easy to ship. They don't take up a whole heck of a lot of space, but they do. If you get heavy into it, they do. But I mean, it's the next. It's one of the easiest clothing and apparel items to get into.
Yes. I know when I first started, I was scared to get into clothing because I heard all these different things of, I can't stand them. You got to do the measurement. You got to do this. You got to do that. I haven't had that problem because I'm really starting to enjoy doing clothes because I have the mannequin. I just put it on there, take my pictures, do my measurements, and I'm done. But don't be. I mean, I said to myself I was scared doing it, but once you try it, it may determine you to say you like it. You never know. So don't be afraid.
The reason why I got into clothes is because, I mean, come on, you go to yard sales, they're like everywhere and you can get them for like 50 cents. Some people even have like fill a bag for $5. And here's the honest truth. If it is a t-shirt, it's going to be under 15 ounces. If it's jeans, you can actually get them to go into those priority mail bags, not just the padded ones, but the thin ones. And so that's only $7 to ship those ones. And then even some jackets will actually fit in there, because I've gotten jackets to fit in there for $7. So you're looking at, with clothes, about $7. Shoes, though, on Poshmark, shoes are great, but if you haven't sold on Poshmark, I don't suggest Poshmark being one to just jump into, because you have to share and you have to like and you have to do this and you have to do that, and it gets boring. But while you're sitting there on TV, you can heart people's stuff.
We stayed away from Poshmark, but then we found a service that actually does all that for you. You do the listing, and they do all the sharing and all that stuff for you. So
yes, don't let anybody know you do that, though. That's a no-no. That's drama. Have you not heard? That's drama.
I don't. Like I said, I don't do Poshmark store. My wife does, but one of the reasons why we did stay away from Poshmark, because like, well, we don't have time to do the sharing and the this, that, and the other, and we actually found a service that does it for you, and so you know, things like, well, why would you pay somebody to do that? Well, you know, it pays for itself tenfold. You know,
it does.
So that's one of the things we do. It's one of the things that like I said earlier, is that like we're very much into the automation. Like if you can automate something, if you can, you know, like have a defined process for it, it saves you time, you know, and
exactly.
I don't remember who said it, but somebody said, you know, if it's something that you don't want to do, you know, you're going to need to be willing to do it or pay somebody to do it. And so there's plenty of stuff in the resale business that, you know, we're willing to pay people to do as long as it pays for itself, you know?
Right. Now you have a question here that says, what is that service? And because they're interested in knowing more about it.
Like I said, my wife runs the Poshmark store, but Google is your friend. You can just Google it, just Google Poshmark's sharing services, and they'll come up. I think, though, if I'm correct, and I'm probably not, but you could probably find something if you use one of those like virtual. Do that. And I want to say, I don't. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Paul. No, I was just gonna say that I know.
You know, make sure that like it's paying for itself. If it's not paying for itself, then it's not creating money. You know what I mean?
Right.
There, if you actually Google in virtual assistants, there's a bunch that pop up. And actually, I'm gonna do a cheap plug, Deb. If you go to my channel, there's actually one that I did a review on. It was like, it's $7.99. It's called like the Closet Assistant. Just, you know, don't tell anybody, because supposedly it's like a no-no, but I've looked through Poshmark's terms and conditions and I don't see where it says you can't use a bot. So I don't know, because they have to get Poshmark's permission to be able to make the bots. So and it was, like I said, it was only $7.99, and you can do it for I think it was like 7 days for free. There's a bunch of them. Someone else pays somebody like $10. I've heard like you can Google search that too, but that's how I found them, was just virtual assistant. You know, just type it in Google and there's about 15 or 20 that pop up.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
I want to welcome Miss T. That's Hemlock Lady Mechanical. That's Miss T. Welcome.
Thanks, Jen.
So yeah, if y'all have any final questions, please put it in the chat. I want to try to keep the guest here no longer than an hour, because they do have things they have to go and do.
Yeah, so, I'm actually gonna have to split here in just a few more minutes. So
right, okay. If you have any more questions for Paul, go ahead and put it in before he leaves, because he does have to go attend to something with his wife. And I want to thank him for coming out and taking the time with us to join the chat with us and share his information. And if you haven't subscribed to him, please do so. The chat, the link is in the chat. Jennifer's been putting them in for you. And don't forget to go and subscribe and watch his channel. Yes, she is. And so I want to thank him again, and I want to welcome Richard, the Ford Pinto backwards that flips. Welcome, Richard. So if you need to go, you can go ahead and go, Paul. But I want to thank you again for coming and spending your time with us.
Well, I appreciate the invite, and I wish it did get scheduled on some on the same day as something else. But
That's okay. I understand. I want to thank you again for coming and sharing your time with me.
Anytime, you
Nice
got
to
me.
meet you, Paul.
Nice to meet you too. But anytime, got my email, Instagram. Anybody, you want this semi good looking face on your channel. If you want to run your subscribers away, I don't know. Just send me a message.
Before you leave, Paul, I want to tell you, like I tell all my guests, the first time I ask you to come on as a guest, at this point on, it's an open invitation. You're more than welcome to send me a message and tell me you'd like to come on. I'll be glad to put you on the calendar.
So, all right, everybody. Thanks a lot. And I got to drop out of here. So take it easy.
All right. Take care. I also want to welcome RK Treasures. Welcome.
What?
Yeah.
That's just me and Donnie.
Thank you.
We'll just keep going. When you guys get bored with us, just say shut up. No.
So if there's anything else y'all want to know, ask the questions. I'm sure Bonnie would love to answer them. She's fairly new
at YouTube. I'll tell you no.
Curious minds want to know.
Well, yeah. We'll see. Showing my age off there. Wow. Hello.
So is there any of the final words that you would like to tell the guests in our chat? You have anything coming up on your channel?
I do. At 5 o'clock, I'm doing an auction, which everybody that hung out with me last night so wanted me to come back, it was worst live show I've ever done. But yeah, I'm doing a auction at 5 o'clock. It's my whatever auction. So
in other words, it's 8 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah. Is that what time it is Eastern? See, I need to learn that. Eastern Standard.
3 hours. Yeah, your hour Central is an hour before you, and we're 2 hours ahead of you.
I know, but that's math. I don't want to do math. Sorry. Even when Johnny says, "Hey, I do my show at this time," I'm like, "What time is that?"
I thought you were messing with me every time you'd ask me that.
No, I was like, "Okay, what time? Where are you at? What time is it again?"
I want to welcome Ms. J. Marie in the chat. Crazy Cat Lady. She has a question. Does anyone know how or if the temporary pricing increase at the USPS is going to affect eBay sellers? I'm not sure because I have not found. I know I'm getting a chance over to manage payment in the next couple of days, but I'm noticing that I have not had any change in prices on my end going through eBay, or even if I go through hardship. I find that even between doing media mail and first class, it's about the same. So I'm sending my mail first class, not media. I do know that I found out with media mail, the post office tends to put that to the back burner right now due to the fact that if they have more priority and they short on manpower and things like that, they're not sending out that media mail right away. What they're doing is they're getting out all the other items before that are either first class, next day, express, and that kind of stuff first. Then they're going to do the media mail. So that's why I don't do that at this time. Bonnie, what state are you in?
I am in Nevada.
You're 3 hours ahead of us. Or behind us. The temporary pricing evidently could increase starts next month.
Yeah, it doesn't start until next month, and from what I heard, it's going to be like only 25. So on like the priority mail, the flat rate padded boxing $7.15, it's going to go up to like $7.25 or something.
Are they doing 25
I think
across the
I
board
don't
on
know.
everything?
No, of course not. They're going to charge you 45 cents here, 25 cents there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's so weird, and I know they gave us like enough notice, but I feel like they're almost doing it just because they want more money, because they're pretty busy. Right. I mean, in all honesty, they're pretty darn busy. They can't even keep up with the mail.
Yeah, they just quit overtime. So yeah. All right, Richard has a question. Has anyone had issues shipping to Mexico through GSP? Had to ship first class international to get it to the ship. I have not had any problems. I know it took maybe 5 days to ship to UK. I have a few items that's still waiting across to go to Canada and I have one that was a couple of others that haven't gone through yet. So I'm not sure what's going on with that.
I don't think I've had any Mexico. I know I've had Paris and UK and all that, but I haven't had any issues. But you know what I have noticed though, and I don't know if it's just my eBay or just my retarded fingers, but I've noticed that if you put the first class weight as 15, where it used to cut off at 15, 16, it's saying that that's no longer first class. So I don't know if they're bumping the 15 and 16 up to no longer first class and they're leaving it down. I don't know, because I've noticed that happen to me even today when I was listing some stuff.
I have to say something about that. I noticed when I'm doing 16 ounces, and I always put the 16 ounces under the ounce part.
Yeah.
If it brings you automatically to priority, usually you can change it back to first class at the 16 ounces because it's going to bring you, for some reason right now, it's going straight to priority. But if you look right above it, there's an opening where you can click on the first class and still send it first class.
Right. I used to be able to do that. It's not doing that at all. It's like literally when you put in 16 ounces in the ounce part and then put it to first class and you go and hit submit, it's telling me that that is no longer a first class weight anymore, that you have to bump it up. So I don't know if it's just mine or if I'm retarded or what, but it's happened on more than one item. And I'm like, seriously? I'm like, what is going on?
Well, I know I've done it to where I put in my 16 ounces, and when I go to do the buy the voltage part, I noticed that I have the option to go back to first class in the drop box. And when I hit first class, it goes first class.
Huh,
so,
maybe it's just mine. Who knows?
I don't know. I've not been able to do that. Now, Roy says he's heard that the reselling, based on the reselling, basically going up to 25 cents for first class and 40 cents for priority.
Yeah, see? Who knows? They'll probably change it again. They'll be like, oh no. They're like, we want more money.
Yeah, they need it.
And I'm bad. I haven't even done my managed payments yet. Like I'm in the step. So if you guys haven't done it yet, you know, there's like the step 1, the step 2, step 3, and step 4. Yeah, I've been sitting at step 3 for like 3 weeks now. I'm just like, yeah, maybe they'll kick me out. Maybe they won't let me do it. I don't know.
I keep getting messages like when they already started my process for the final step. And so it should be completed by the 21st for me.
Oh, see, I need to do it. I'm just waiting. I figured,
Welcome, James. He says, FYI, I took pictures of one of the candy bars with the maggots in it. Gonna send it to picture to Victoria. Yeah, okay. She's gonna love you for that one. She's gonna love you a long, long time.
Ew.
Yeah, he was talking about that yesterday in our bingo game. We do bingo every Tuesday, and then we rotate. Like this week was on Larry's channel, LL Stash. Next week is on Victoria's on Tuesday, and then mine's gonna be the following week. So yeah, it was some candy he got in the mail.
Yeah, I've watched you guys do the bingo. I suck at. I'm good at bingo. Okay, I'm great at bingo in real life if my mom is there. But so I used to win all the time. I would go play bingo with my mom, and I would win. And then my mom won. I swear, if she's on here, she's gonna totally yell at me. She won, and now I can't win anymore. And I told her she jinxed me because I used to win all the time, and now I can't win at all. I'm like, thanks for jinxing me, Mom.
I'm gonna give you a secret about our game. We do not do cards.
Yeah, you guys type it in. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you type in your numbers from 1 to 25, 1 through 75. You pick 5 numbers, and those are your numbers for the whole game. And then every time the game goes on, if your numbers come up and you remember your number, because you're going to need to know if you win, and then we verify it. And then
Did you just say I have to remember my numbers? See, look at that. Like, we don't use cards.
You have to write it down. We advise you to write it down. You have to do some work to get the free prize.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't have 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. No matter if it's 5, 3, 2, 4, 1, or whatever.
I probably remember that.
But that's his numbers every time we play. Even if he mixes it up, it's always 1 and 2.
Really?
5. Yeah.
You know what? You have to take those numbers then. See, that's something I need to remember. Something easy like that. Jeez, Cal. I see how you are.
Some people that take and do all the double numbers like 11, 22, 33, 44, 55. or some will do the other way and go 22, 33, 44, 55, 65, 66.
I should just do everybody's
even-
birthday, but I don't remember their birthdays that well either. Wow.
Ouch.
I only remember the important people.
Well, hope Mr. Ron and Kim of Arcade Trials, I hope you're doing well. I love the videos when she sent them.
To print the label,
That's
eBay
Kim.
got an extra 5 times. So oh, that sucks. I would be mad at eBay for that. Well, I'm always mad at eBay.
3 ounces every. I'm trying to print the label even with times 5. So, oh wow.
That's what I'm saying. I would be upset.
Yeah.
And you
All right,
can't call them right now either.
What?
You can't still call them right now either.
Yeah, I've called them with no problem.
Really?
Actually, what you do is you go to your you can do it 2 ways. You can go into your eBay app and go to the top that says help and what's the little tab? Help and contact right at the top of the search bar. And then you go all the way to the bottom and you take the category you want or you need a question about. And then you go back and you go to the bottom. Once you click it, it brings you to another page. You go down to the bottom and it'll say contact me. And what they'll do is if you hit that, they'll contact you and tell you how long it's going to be of a waiting time. And then they'll verify the number that you want them to call you back at, and they will call you back in that time that they tell you. Or if you're on Facebook, you go to Facebook on the eBay for Business and send them a message through Messenger of the eBay for Business tab. And I guarantee you within 24 hours, you will get them. You will get them an answer.
See, I'm not the only one. Queenie says she can't get them on the phone either.
Well, I know they were having trouble a couple of days ago, but I got through with no problem. But again, I did go through it and had them call me because I wasn't going to wait online and get cut off.
See, I'm glad. I was glad when you couldn't call them at all because I hate dealing with eBay. They always give you, it does not matter who you talk to, you get it. I feel like I get a different answer every time I talk to one of those people. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I just talked to so-and-so and they said this. And they're like, oh, no, it's this. And I'm like, seriously? And I make sure I have like that list. That's the only time I write anything down. That's when I turn into a Karen, guys, is when I'm calling. I'm like, oh, yes, I'm writing this name down. Who is this? Who are you? Okay, you are this? Okay, gotcha.
But you can do it through, I know a lot of people don't have Facebook. If you go through the Facebook for Business, eBay for Business, and then go to the little messenger and send them a message, they will contact you back. And then they'll keep talking to you through that Facebook Messenger until they get your answer done.
Oh, wow. I wonder if they would hang up on me like Loot Crate did today. Damn, Loot Crate.
Hey, I haven't had any problems. I've had great service with them so far.
Well, maybe I need to have you call them then, Johnny. Shoot. I've tried nice. I've tried mean. I've tried every which way with those people.
Like I said, at the time when they were having an issue where you couldn't call, I just went through Facebook Marketplace, their eBay for Business, and I've gotten my answers done immediately.
Cal, have we met before? Because that kind of sounds like something I would do. Are you talking my husband?
That's James.
Oh my goodness.
He's got a show with Larry every on the weekends, and I think at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, wait. Eastern?
LL Stash. You know,
I know, but Eastern?
It's Eastern, yes.
American 5-piece
Alexa, stop.
I didn't even say her name. Seriously? Now I'm gonna mess with your Alexa. Alexa. Why is that like Siri? You do that to Siri too. Oh, I get mad at my Siri. I cuss her out. I'm like, really? And then she'll just all of a sudden answer.
500 Art Ventilated. Well, congratulations. I don't think he's in the chat.
Yay!
Congratulations if he is.
Good job. I just want to hit 200 and I'll be happy again. No,
but he was doing a thing where he was going to stay live until he did it, or I think a couple hours. So I don't know what happened, but he didn't make it. I think he tried again today.
I was going to say live until he, well, no, I'm not doing that. I love you all, but no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Listen, we're going to go ahead and end it because it is getting late. And I don't want to keep the chat going too long because I know there's other people with their lives coming on and things like that in auctions. But I do really appreciate each and every one of y'all coming out and sharing your time with Miss Donnie and Mr. Paul. They were great for them to come out and give them their time. Alexis asked, what do you want to know? Oh, I'm not even asking that because it's muted. They used to do it in the morning too. They did it when they know they have I'm in here working and lurking. So I always have to remember to put it on mute when they're on. And he'll ask his Alexa a question, and mine will say the same question he said asking.
Yeah, forget that. I don't have any of those in my house. Just a Siri that I want to throw through the wall. So I could only imagine what I would do with Alexa.
Right. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming out and supporting the channel, and also giving time for each other in the chat and subscribing to each other, as we will always say. Thank you, and always love, as it's for free. And don't forget to subscribe to each other, and we'll see y'all on the next show. Have a blessed day, and we'll talk to y'all on the next show. I'm going to wear Miss Bonnie.